There we go. Okay.
Oh,
Fucking love the Catherine soundtrack.
yeah. How did you think I was using?
What?
Like, that was the same thing I was using. How did Chad get that?
I don't know.
The theme that I was using, like the Catherine soundtrack. How did you get that? It was just... That's what it's seeing on the stream right now.
Yeah, it's playing on the stream.
I don't have my Streamlabs up.
You don't? I have the stream pulled up and I can hear us talking in the music.
Well, good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm chilling. How are you?
You know,
Tired as fuck.
yeah. Thomas and I are both like, bruh,
Bruh.
bruh.
Do you think that if there's like a really big Apex Legends player who got outed for grooming teenage girls, would they call him the Apex Predator?
I mean, that would make sense.
It's
It
like
would,
the ultimate sleep joke. Just fucking, I don't think it's shit to say.
no, dude. They would never get named anything like that. Somebody would be like, "Is this proof that all gamers are misogynistic, and boys just need to be banned from gaming for a while so girls can stand a chance in the gaming
For a
community?"
while.
For a little while.
Yeah.
Uh,
Dude, I watched, or I didn't watch. It wasn't a video. It was an actually typed article. But it was one of the Vice News articles, like their gaming section, and it was
Yeah.
like talking about people being harassed in gaming environments and stuff like that. I was like, you have no idea, do you?
Yeah.
What it was like to play games online in 2006. Zero
Have they-
clue.
Have they been in any Modern Warfare lobbies?
I mean,
Like,
Jesus
goddamn.
Christ. How thin-skinned do you have to be? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Like, somebody harasses you on social media, they're
Hmm.
tagging you and stuff, they're whatever. But some just random
Shit.
whoever in a
Yeah.
random game that's gonna be gone in like 20 minutes at tops, and then you can
Hmm.
play another round with whoever. You can block
Yeah.
them. You can,
You
you
can
know,
mute them.
I mean,
Yeah. It's it's so weird that people just don't want to acknowledge that they have a block button and they have a mute button on most games now. They just want the people that are annoying them off of the platform entirely. It's like, dude, just ignore them. Close your eyes, turn the screen off. That Tyler the Creator quote,
mm-hmm.
how the fuck is cyberbullying real? Ha ha ha. Just close your eyes, just turn off the screen.
It's, I mean, I get it to a certain degree. Like,
Yeah.
my nephew had a fucking whole TikTok hashtag made to make fun of him at school.
Yeah. No, yeah,
You know,
that's
I mean,
Jack.
that's Jack. There were people taking, you know, videos of his butt crack and like, you know, just
Mhm.
stuff. Like, he's a young autistic dude and
Yeah.
dealing with his own shit, and they were harassing him and bullying him. But
Mhm.
as far as being like, I got assaulted in the metaverse and I was only there for 5 minutes. It's an unsafe space for women. Shut the fuck up.
Someone put a coconut cocktail up to my throat. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh, God. It was all digital.
It was a cock and a tail.
Uh, I love
That
that.
shit.
There's this one clip that
Ugh.
was like talking about that same thing, but in GTA 5, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they just show this clip as with the quote eerily realistic, and they just show this character glitching out with a cone on top of his head, just doing like
Mm-hmm.
weird movements. I was like, eerily realistic bullying. Come on.
No, the big bullying thing on GTA Online is where they spawn you to their apartment and then kick you out and then blow something up or spawn something
Yeah,
right at the entrance that kills everybody. It's
exactly.
just
Or
like,
in the
Just
early
flying out of
days,
fucking nowhere.
in
Just
the
to
early
mess with
days,
you.
just park a truck in front of their house so they couldn't leave.
yeah. Dude, Nate and I were playing one time, and this guy spawned us to his apartment and kicked us out, and then just
Mm.
had like 2 foot high wind. What do they call
Mm.
them? Like the wind turbine things.
Yep.
The
Oh,
fucking.
Fred the Alpha Squid and Michael
those.
Johns are in the chat today.
Oh,
Hey,
good morning, y'all. I hope
you mean
everybody
those
is
boat
well.
thingies?
No, they're like the gimmicks that they try to put out to the windmills or whatever. They're just the gigantic
Yeah.
windmills, and
Oh yeah, just normal ass. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
mm-hmm. And
So,
as soon as you walked out of the fucking apartment, it was just like, like you just went right into the fucking blades.
so I don't know if either of you saw in the Discord yesterday, but apparently there was a little squirrel outside my Papa John's. That was just like right
Mm.
outside the door. He was just like chewing at the brick part of the outside of the entrance. I called my manager, like, "Hey John, come look at this shit. There's a little squirrel just right outside the door here." And he was just like sitting there for a couple of minutes. I was like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" I tried to walk closer to him, so I like bang the door and freak him out, but he left before I could get to him. Like, son of a bitch.
Chewing on the brick like, smells like pizza. This ain't
Yeah.
pizza, but I can't stop biting it.
I got pica.
I would have been famous on YouTube in 2005. I'm
Going to the
obviously
zoo? Fuck
disturbed.
that.
I'm obviously disturbed. Watch me eat this shoe and cheer me on.
I'm obviously disturbed. Oh, wow.
Dude, that's so funny. That shoe nice guy, have you seen like what he's resorted to?
Shoe nice guy?
Not as of recently, no. But I know
Shoe nice is his
he.
name.
Yeah, I know he has gone down a rabbit hole. Let's say.
Yeah, if that's what you want, a shithole's more like it.
Yeah.
He was like homeless, sleeping under a tree, screaming into his phone about how people need to give him money and shit. And it's like, bro, this is what
Yeah.
happens when you like chug bottles of mouthwash online for fun. Like, you got to get a grip, guy.
Yeah, couldn't have been the best career choice.
No. The man had no fear, and
Yeah,
I
gotta
would
give him
like to
that.
say that the internet for sure encouraged some really bad behavior in that situation.
Oh, absolutely. But that was all over the internet, like back when Shoe Nice was really like popping off.
Yeah.
It was everywhere was just bad behavior and everybody encouraging it.
Well, people will be like, "Ah, watch this guy shoe nice. He's gonna go eat half a desk." I'll be like, "Oh, dude, Flavor of Love's coming out tonight. I gotta watch Flavor Flav's reality dating show,
Hmm.
VH1." You missed out on that era too, didn't you? You didn't have VH1.
Well, we did have VH1, but I think it was like over here. I think it was mostly just like music instead of like shows.
Oh, dude, we had so many shows. They had the White Rapper show. The White Rapper show was so funny because it was like one of those old school rappers that was the judge of it. DJ Quest, I think, was the name of his shit, and he was one of the first like white rappers, like right there with the Beastie Boys, like when rap first started. And he was out here and searching for the next best white rapper in like 2005, and boy oh boy, it was fucking a disaster.
Yeah. Well, now that you brought up music channels and like shows back then, I've been wanting to talk about Silent Library for a while on here.
Dude, that was a
Like,
good
just
one.
that recently just came back to my memory. Like, I don't know if anybody here in the chat remembers Silent Library, but it was basically like this game show thing where you had like 6 people, and it's like they all like picked out a card and whatnot. And if one person gets like the skull and crossbones, they have to do a certain challenge, and everybody has to stay silent while they're doing it. And almost everybody fails, and they're all from New Jersey.
Yeah.
I noticed that too. They're just like from Fairway, New Jersey. Like almost every single one of them is from Fairway, New Jersey.
Well, dude, it's just like every fucking Nickelodeon show for the longest time was made in Canada. Like all the live action ones, they were just like, you know, Canadian first time actors just being like, "Oh, how you doing, guy?"
I'm Zero Kazama, and this is not a game show. This is Silent Library. Silence!
Or what was it, the Extreme Elimination Challenge, where they just like dubbed over a Japanese game show and pretended like those were the English, voices coming out of those dudes in kimonos. Extreme Elimination Challenge was hardcore, dude.
Ninja Warrior is pretty good too on the G4 channel.
What was it?
Ninja Warrior was
Ninja Warrior? Yeah. Yeah, Ninja Warrior went hard. Hell, they do it now. They have American Ninja Warrior, and one of the wrestlers from WWE is going to be on it, Ricochet.
Oh.
It's like, at least when he falls down, he'll make it look good.
Fred asks, does anyone remember a show called Fort Boyard?
No, I
Never
don't.
heard of it.
Fort Boyard.
I never
I'm
heard
gonna
of
look it up now. Forget that. Y'all look it up then.
1998 to 2003. Adventure game. Team of contestants must survive a number of difficult and sometimes nasty physical challenges to attain a chance at winning a treasure. Okay, so a game show.
Ah, Treasure.
Never heard of it.
Sounds a bit
Dude.
like Survivor. Does it have any of the aspects of Survivor, Fred? Like the drama aspects or whatever?
Total Drama Island.
Oh God.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
I haven't watched that show in years.
I never watched that show. I never hated myself that much.
Good. Keep it.
Well, I was
that
like
way.
10 when that show came out, I think.
The fan base of that show is
can
fucking
still-
degenerate.
You can still do damage to yourself at that age. What was the one that was on Comedy Central and it was like all those cartoon characters in like a fake reality TV show?
Drawn Together?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that
That
was
one was fucked
god
up.
awful.
Yeah, there was a lot of fucked up shit in that one. I was like, oh
Hmm.
shit.
It was trying to be like South Park. And it was like, and the
Well,
movie they made, it was so utterly showing that they were bitter at South Park being successful, not understanding why it was
well,
successful
it,
in a way.
the thing was they were mad at South Park for having a point.
Mm.
Yeah.
That was basically the crux of it. And it's like, oh, so we're just gonna do a random LOL offensive haha. It just didn't work. Some people
Yeah.
love it. I have a friend of mine who has all of that shit on DVD who loves it, but
Also,
Yeah.
welcome Boobo the Mad Jester just joined into the stream.
Yo,
yo, what up,
what
homie?
up?
They
Yeah,
had tigers and you could be quote left to die.
I totally miss like the random assortments of cartoons that would just get a shot. They would try them for a month or two, and then if it didn't work out, it was whatever. But like,
Mm.
that's how you got the great stuff. If you look back at like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Comedy Central at that point in time, there were a
Yeah.
bunch of shows that just didn't make it.
Oh,
Mhm.
dude. My brothers and I used to watch Adult Swim late at night all the time.
Yeah, but like now it's like, if a show airs, there's going to be a whole season of it at least. Like you're going to be watching it for months and months and months.
Well,
You
because
know.
it's on streaming services now. It's not really on real TV anymore.
Right. Yeah, I noticed that there's been a bit of a purge of Cartoon Network content. Um and that's what scares me about streaming services, because eventually it's going to be like that for everything. They're going to do it just like cable,
Mm.
where there's seasons of things to build
Yeah.
anticipation and a demand for stuff. So you'll see
Mhm.
shit that's has no reason going anywhere. Like fucking, let's just say Yu Yu Hakusho for example, will be off
Yeah.
all streaming services for like
Mhm.
8 months, and then they'll be like, "Guess what's coming back?" It's like it should have never left. It's old as fuck. Like
Exactly.
What the hell are y'all doing?
people were freaking out about the Amazing Spider-Man being on Netflix, and I was just like,
Mm.
dude, that movie came out in 2012. Yeah, we should be able to get that easily. You should be able to go to the store and for
Mm.
$5 buy that DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should be on Disney Plus already because they own. Don't they own Marvel stuff?
Dude, that whole shit between Marvel and Sony has been the dumbest thing ever. Ever, 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 ever. But I'll tell you this right now. I would rather they create 20 more Morbiuses than one more episode of She-Hulk or Miss Marvel.
Yes, please.
Who asked for that?
Mm.
Were there people outside Disney headquarters beating the door down? Please give us She-Hulk. Please give us Miss Marvel. Please. I bet you if you put out a questionnaire to all of
Mm.
the young girls that they're trying to inspire globally
Yeah.
and ask them if they care and or want that,
Mm.
they would say, "What? No."
Mm. But it has to come out. She has to get reimbursed for hurting her asshole.
Bro, that
What
shit's funny
the
as
fuck?
hell.
Yeah,
People do
no,
that,
the
man.
the actress for one of those two movies, I can't remember which one,
It was
actually
She-Hulk.
legitimately, yeah, she hurt her asshole.
Yeah, dude. It
What?
happens.
What an American hero, sacrificing her asshole for the good of the entertainment business.
She needs
I
to be
wouldn't I
reimbursed.
wouldn't
That movie needs to come out, and we need to see the butthole cut.
dude,
What? Oh, God.
look, there's a wrestler named X-Pac. He was part of the group D-Generation X. And
Mm.
he does this move called the Bronco Buster, where you pretty much the guy's laying on the floor against the ropes, and you just
Hmm.
like jump on them with your crotch in their face and bounce on them a couple of times. And
Yeah.
he did that and tore his asshole, and had to like, he was like rolling over afterwards and like fell down. Like the match wasn't even over, and he was just like grabbing his ass, and he was just like telling the referee it's over. I'm done. They had to like carry him out of there. He was on his podcast and he was like, "Look, for the first time in my life,
I thought
I
I was
had my
Rainbow
ass."
Mika.
No, he said I had my asshole torn open in front of 100 people. It was like, it was bad. He was like, I had to sit on an ice pack for months, had that shit stitched open, had to eat a liquid diet. It's just like talking about all the trials and tribulations of going through that. I was just like, man,
That's
wouldn't
the
it be the
best
worst?
quote.
Wouldn't it be the worst to just like be sitting there and just be like rip this huge fart and then like, ah, ah,
Oh fuck!
No, it'd be like, ah!
yeah,
That's the best
God, dude,
quote. I got my asshole tore open in front of hundreds of people.
yeah. X Pac is
Uh,
pretty funny, dude. X Pac is a really, really funny dude. Well, he's the one that like put out that spicy tape with China, who many people were like, you know, this is a big, burly, beastly woman, and he's like kind of a tiny guy. So it's just
oh
like,
yeah.
come on, man. You really want the one that can throw you around.
Mm,
But yeah, that dynamic's pretty funny.
nice.
And of course, they were doing like crystal meth and shit, like at that time and everything. So, not a
Yeah,
good
standard
situation
procedure.
for anybody.
Standard procedure back then.
Yep.
Everybody did everything.
Everybody did everything, dude.
Mm.
Glad
Crystal
my.
meth and torn booty meat.
Oh, God.
Sounds like a fun Saturday night.
Dude, my friend worked as like a clerk for a high ranking attorney for the state in Washington State and lived in Seattle. And he was like, dude, there's so much of the fucked up shit that their office had to deal with as far as like court cases and shit that had to do with people just tweaked out on meth. He was like, it's not an excuse, but every time you see this horrific shit and then you're like, meth, you're like, oh.
Mm.
It answers a lot of questions as to why the fuck.
Fred was asking about some guy named Rikishi.
Oh, Rikishi, who did the stink face. We're talking about this gigantic Samoan dude who wore like a big ass diaper thong that would rub people's faces in his ass crack legitimately. And he had a thing where like if he liked you, like in reality, if he actually liked the person he was working with that night, he would have washed his gear, taken a bath. But if he didn't like you, you were getting the stink face for real.
Oof. Pocket too big, Rikishi.
Dude, Andre the Giant used to sit on people and fart. And like not allow them to move. He would like nearly suffocate people with his weight by like sitting on their chest and would like fart and like sit there and watch them and ho ho ho, you know.
Taste the meat and the heat.
He supposedly let loose a 30-second long fart on the set of The
Oh my
Princess
God.
Bride. And the director
Impressive.
was like, dude, are you okay? Like, do we need to do something for you? He was like, much
did you crack
better
the
now,
pavement?
boss. He was also notorious for being like incredibly drunk all the time because
Oh yeah.
you know his body hurt so much, like he was always in pain from the because his bones and shit just like never stopped growing. You know, he had that disorder that causes people to be giants and shit, like some kind of gland or whatever, just like he kept growing, and so he was always in pain. So his answer to
Yeah.
that was like, I can never be fucked up if I'm never sober ever. So
True.
he would
This is a
just
good way of living.
always drink. Yeah.
Fred says Andre was a goat, growing out all tendons.
Yep. Dude, he was a goat. They had to like allow him to shit in bathtubs in Japan because he couldn't fit on the actual toilet.
Yeah, that's right. You just have to like hunker down and be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh,
He wouldn't tell. Like, there's a definitive match in Hulk Hogan's career where he slammed Andre for the first time. Andre had been slammed by other people before this, but it had never been on TV like that. So it was
Yeah.
the first time. And it was at WrestleMania, of course. And, Hulk Hogan was like, bro, like, how do you want this match to go? Because Andre was the veteran. Andre was in charge of the match. And he
And
just
Andre was
kept,
like, I'm gonna fart on your face.
yeah, no, he just kept blowing him off and being like, nope, I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you. So he's like, dude, we're getting ready to go out to perform. And I still have no idea what the fuck is going to happen in this match. He will not tell me what he wants to do. At the very end, he was like, slam, pin. That's all he said, you know. He
Damn.
did the thing, pinned him, and that's a huge deal. Like, that made Hulk Hogan huge because he did that. And until the very end, he didn't know what Andre was going to do, or if he was going to win, or what. You know, it was just really funny that he made Hulk Hogan squirm, you know, and worry and all this shit. Because honestly, you get a guy that big, it doesn't matter what anybody tells him to do. You can't make that motherfucker do nothing.
He's gonna do whatever the
He's
fuck he
gonna do
wants.
whatever he wants. Do you know who the Iron Sheik is?
By name, yes. I don't think
Dude.
I've ever really seen him though.
So he was one of the bodyguards for the Shah of Iran. He was legitimately like an Olympic wrestler, you know, in Iran. And whenever the assassination situation happened in Iran and the Shah got assassinated, he had to evacuate. So he came to America and was a shoot wrestler for a while for like AAU Olympic teams and all this shit.
Yeah.
And then he got into WWF. And while he was there, he had a big feud with Hulk Hogan. And one of the other promoters outside of WWF had been screwed over by Hulk Hogan. He left a company and went to WWF without really telling the people he was working for that he was leaving.
Yeah.
And so they hit up Iron Sheik and was like, listen, if you break his fucking leg, we'll give you $1 million and you'll be the champion here. You can come on. And trust me, he could have done it. The Iron Sheik's an actual wrestler. Hulk Hogan's not.
Yeah.
The Iron Sheik could have broke his leg easy. And he didn't do it. He didn't do it. And so the Iron Sheik got a lot of respect from Vince McMahon and all the WWF guys because he could have went into business for himself, made a bunch of money, left, and ruined. Hulk Hogan would have been ruined if he would have broke his leg on national TV and just been like, ha ha.
Yeah.
Well,
Didn't
apparently Fred says one time Andre was threatened by Saddam Hussein. You got a story about that one?
No, I've never heard of that, but it doesn't surprise me. Saddam Hussein was threatening everybody. Saddam Hussein is a whole nother story.
Yeah, Fred, you mind elaborating a bit on that one?
Didn't Kurt Angle also try snapping someone's either their leg or their neck in the ring?
No, Kurt Angle broke his neck and then won an Olympic gold medal.
That's right. I was
Yeah,
confusing it.
he broke his neck and then went to the Olympics with a broken neck and still won the gold.
But I thought he had like a beef with someone, like an actual fucking back and
He
forth.
did.
And
I
then
thought he had a torn
had-
asshole.
threatened to fucking snap someone's.
He had
I don't know,
an
maybe I'm wrong.
actual shoot wrestling match with Brock Lesnar
Yeah.
and won because, you know, Brock Lesnar's 3 times the size of Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
And was also college champion. Like in the United States, the college championship for the whole country, he was the national champion. So Brock Lesnar's a national champion, Kurt Angle's world champion, Olympic gold medalist, and way undersized, and still beat Brock Lesnar in a wrestling match, like legitimately. And
Nice.
there have been plenty of confrontations. Kurt Angle's biggest battle was against Percocets.
Yeah.
So that was his big thing, you know. His struggle was pills and stuff. I mean, you break your neck when you're in your 20s, dude. and still
Yeah.
continue to like slam your body on the mat and do all this crazy shit, what do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have to be on painkillers. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, painkillers I'd understand, but I've heard so many stories of wrestlers just getting strangely addicted to crack. And crack is an odd one for a
Strangely.
wrestler. Well, like crack is a weird one for a wrestler. It's like just imagine being in the ring with someone like that. There's just their eyes are just completely red. You can see the 1,000-yard stare in their eyes, and it's just like, oh, are you on crack again? Shit, dude, I'm out.
Bro,
No, I'm Rick
you
James, bitch.
you watch Count Dankula. So
Yeah.
have you seen the New Jack episode?
I don't remember it, but I probably have.
Dude, New Jack was one of the craziest wrestlers ever. Ever.
Yeah,
And we're
now that I
talking
see him
about
again, yeah.
we're talking about modern times. This isn't like 1970, 1980. This is like 1995 to like 2008.
Yeah.
Okay? This guy stabbed somebody like 7 times in the ring. Like, legitimately stabbed this guy.
Jesus.
Okay? There was this one guy who was talking shit about him. And they had this crazy match where they got up on top of this scaffolding, like 30 feet above the ring or something. There's like a board on the scaffolding, like what painters stand on, you know. Like what you can imagine Michelangelo was on, painting like the Sistine Chapel or whatever. And they get up there. And New Jack was like, all right, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. He's disrespected me. I'm tired of it. He had a taser hidden in his gear. Like his shorts, he had a taser in there. And he tases this guy on top of the scaffolding. This is unplanned. Nobody knew this was going to happen. Except for New Jack.
Get that through security.
Well, I mean, they're not going to pat down the wrestlers. And
Yeah, that's
so
true.
so he tases this guy on top of the scaffolding. And the guy looks at New Jack and says, I can't feel my legs. And New Jack said, where you're going, you won't need them. And threw him off of the thing, trying to kill him.
Damn.
The guy hit the ropes, thank God, and was pretty fucked up, but he didn't die. And so New Jack went down, got off the scaffolding, expecting to be arrested and booked like for murder. And the guy survived, and it was all good. And he was just like, well, he won't fuck with me anymore. Like, that's the kind of guy that New Jack was. Gypsy Joe was this wrestler who was near like fucking 90 years old and got booked against New Jack, and he put him in the hospital. Like he beat him with chairs and cut him so bad that they had to hospitalize Gypsy Joe. Usually those older guys, like, you go easy on them, you know? They're legends. They've been around for a long time, and he tried to murder this dude. There's another incident with New Jack called the mass transit incident, where this guy lied and said he was 18. He was really like 16 years old, and got in the ring with New Jack.
Yeah.
And New Jack fucking cut him so bad he nearly bled out to death in the ring. Like, he cut his
that
throat.
I remember.
Yeah. Why people booked New Jack, I have no idea. He's an interesting guy. Well, he's
I
dead
was
now.
gonna say, like, did he have a lot of money or something? Or just,
No.
like, how the fuck did he keep getting into these matches if he kept cutting
look,
people?
Because he was one of those guys who started out in the NWA and Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Well, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, really, in my area, which was huge at the time. The late 80s, early 90s, Smoky Mountain Wrestling was fucking huge. And he went around to like Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, West Virginia, all these places as a black man, saying, we're coming for the white women. All you honkies can't do shit about it. You're going to have to deal with it. Like, people hated New Jack. He was like, we know y'all are Klan members who beat your wives, and we're coming to take your wives, and we're black, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. Now, in the 80s, in East Tennessee, you got balls to stand out there in front of a bunch of rednecks and do that.
Yeah, that's a death sentence right there.
Oh, but New Jack didn't give a shit. You know, him and he had his whole group, and their whole thing was to trigger racist white people. And they did, dude. I mean, people would be throwing shit. And he was so funny. Like, Smoky Mountain Wrestling got so big at that point that WWF started, like, working with them a little bit. And so The Undertaker was booked in a match against New Jack. I don't know if it ever happened, but the promos came out, and New Jack and his homies were standing in the graveyard with shovels and shit. They're like, bring old dead ass Undertaker out here. I ain't scared of no zombies. You know, just like the funniest shit you could ever imagine.
Well, to bring up the Andre thing again, Fred actually elaborated on it a bit. He said Saddam didn't know that wrestling was planned ahead of time, so he threatened Andre that if he wins, he dies.
It adds up.
Yeah.
It adds up. Well, there's still a lot of people like they don't understand that, you know, it's purely entertainment. We're entertainers. We're out here, you know, it's an action movie live in front of your face, practically. So, dude, I mean, I can't even say some of the shit that's been yelled at me when me and my partner come out. Because he used to do stuff just to trigger homophobes really bad. So he's got like a cut off, like crop top in sync shirt that he wears every once in a while with a cowboy hat and boots and shit. And so
The
they'll be
Lil Nas
screaming.
X get up.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll be going, Brokeback Mountain, you know, like doing chants and stuff like that. But, you know, you can imagine much worse.
Oh,
Yeah,
You could have dressed up like Cisco.
yeah. Let me see that thong.
Andre, I'll fart on you, Saddam. Don't test me.
Yeah, well, talk about biological weapon versus biological weapon.
Chemical warfare.
I brought up Cisco because I was thinking about that fucking Will Smith song "Wild Wild West." I was listening to that recently. Like, for people who think of the Will Smith slap thing recently, there will be nothing that denies how hard that song goes, man. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I think that song is pretty good. There, I see
Which
Chad
song?
shaking his head. I think "Wild Wild West" with Cisco
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
True Hill.
yeah. No, I love that whole album, actually, and the Men in Black album. Will Smith did a lot of cool shit. Like, here's the thing, bro. All right. There comes a point where you put stuff on a pedestal and you create a false reality for something. And some people do that for individuals, too. They'll know somebody, but they'll create this idealized version of that person that they wish was, and project that onto them and pretend like that's what they are, and then subject themselves to humiliation and really lose self-worth because of the projection that they put on somebody else. And it kind of seems like that's what's going on with him. Like, he has this Jada woman imagined to be this, like, I don't know, like a godlike figure or something to him, because he's putting up with, dude, here she was talking about screwing an R&B star because she wasn't sure about their marriage and shit, and he knows about it, and he's just like, well, that sucks. It's just like, no, dude, that's time to, I'm out at that point.
It's time to slap her.
Have some self-respect. No, don't slap her.
What's the?
Why?
No, obviously joking there.
It's her choice. If that's what she wants, then give her that. And that means I'm gone.
Yeah.
You know, then she can be entangled with whoever she wants to be entangled with. And so can he. But what doesn't work is trying to flex by smacking Chris Rock, trying to act like, you know, we got to figure each other out. And we've got, no. One of the stupidest things that I've ever heard women say is, you know, I have to find myself. I have to live my life, and find myself means let me go hop on another piece. You know, it's
I need to live my truth.
Yeah, live your
Okay,
truth.
go fuck some other dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Leave her
doesn't
truth
even,
with some other guy's dick, all right? Just fucking leave me out of it.
It's not that poetic, man. It's like not that big, you know, fly away home moment, freedom in the clouds. It's like, no, dude, your legs are gonna spread somewhere else, and that's fine. Just go do that. You know, you don't have to be fucking, writing a prose about it.
That goes into the topic of women taking accountability, and we know that will never happen.
Yeah.
Well, the same can be said for men. I have friends of
Oh,
mine
yeah.
that are
Oh, yeah.
way worse than any women I've ever known. They're a lot more blunt about the situation,
Absolutely.
but they're just as much of self-entitled douchebags when it comes to wrecking people.
Oh, for sure.
They'll have women who would do anything for them, and are just like, I'm gonna go fuck somebody else. Like, I mean, that's fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
That's real damage. That's real
Well,
damage you do to somebody doing that kind of shit to them.
yeah, like fucking Bill Burr said, there's an epidemic of gold digging whores in this country.
Yeah.
Well, there's an epidemic of gold digging people. It's like you can't
Yeah.
place gender on that because people are so self entitled and could care less what happens to anybody else, and it doesn't matter. They can be 20 different genders at the same time and still be a douchebag. You know?
Yeah.
Fucking Fred in the chat, spread your legs and fly.
Yeah. Sometimes that looks like wings. There are a lot of situations where I've seen.
Oh, what the fuck? Boobo
I've
said
seen.
Will Smith admitted that sex makes him nauseous.
No, dude. No, 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 no. Listen, listen. Did we not go off about this? Has
I
this
don't
not
think
been a
so.
topic of conversation? Maybe it was me and Nate or somebody. I don't know. But yeah, Will Smith came out and said that there was a point in his career where he was sleeping with all these beautiful women, and then like the feeling of reaching the crescendo of the situation, you could say, would cause him to want to vomit because he would get that post situation clarity, and then he would be like, what have I done? What am I doing? And I was just like, you're going to get on the internet and you're going to tell millions of incels that you were out here, sleeping with some of the most beautiful women on the planet, and you were like, my God, I can't believe myself. It's like you really
What
are the
have
most
I
entitled
done?
little twat, like,
Like that fucking hippo from Rocket Bar in Life. How
and
dare you?
yeah, and could you imagine being one of those women? Just be like, oh
Oh,
man,
yeah.
I just slept with Will Smith. I'm making it. I'm really attractive. I've really made it. This proves to me that I have some worth. Obviously, they're seeking something out. If there wasn't a real connection there, and they've done that, and then he's
Yeah.
going, just like,
I'm about to hood. Where do you want it hood?
I mean, that would be mortifying. And what was he? You're not going to be like, oh man, I had such a great time. He was probably like, get out of here. You got to leave. I mean, that had to have been an
Everyone
awful
leave. The floods are
experience.
about to open. Oh.
No
Hey, sweetie,
wonder.
you want some coffee? No, thank you.
At what point do you like move to Tibet and just become a monk or something and just like give up on all that? Like maybe little Will needs to just like chill out and like, I mean, there's some real issues going on with that. So I don't know, man. Like the more that I see and the more that I've been exposed to like Will Smith outside of music and acting and stuff, I'm just like, dude, this guy is a mess. And then you hear his children talk and you're like, dude, The Matrix was a movie, right? Like, they're just tripping.
Fred says he didn't know this podcast exists, but he subscribed anyway. Well, thank you, sir.
See,
We appreciate that.
that's what I was bitching about on stream, how we got to do a better job promoting this shit and making the channel grow. I just have been really like not doing that. Like I said, I didn't subscribe until like 3 days ago or something, 3 or 4 days ago. Ugh.
Also, Bubo says, I'm not a big fan of incels, especially Elliot Rogers, the origin of incels.
Oh, we should
No.
not get into that.
There is not an origin to this existed before the internet, guy.
Yeah.
All right, there's no oh well, this is where it started. Trust me, dude. There's
Yeah,
been
no.
forever an epidemic of people that are really, really shitty at getting laid. All right.
Yeah. You're not me.
Which,
Oh!
well, I mean,
Also,
it's just a difficult thing, and like the social aspect of it is always changing. Social media threw a huge wrench in it, and the internet played a large part in a lot of the difficulty going on. But like, relationships between human beings have always been difficult. It becomes even more so whenever there's this like proxy laid down by our society of like who you should be interested in and all this stuff. When I hear my sibling talk about being pansexual, to me that kind of makes more sense than being like I'm straight. I'm whatever. It's like, how do you know if you're a legitimate human being, you are attracted to individuals. It's not as long as you fit this mold,
yeah.
because the visual aspect of attraction is only one thing. There's so much more to it. Like, I am obviously visually attracted to Nikki because she's stunning, but like who she is as an individual by far supersedes any physical attraction. I'm attracted to her soul, who she is as an overall human being is just absolutely gorgeous to me. So like to say that, I would never run across a man or whoever that I would find attractive. It's like there's 6.8 billion, 7 billion people on the planet. How do
Yeah.
you know? You don't know.
Exactly.
I can tell you what my preferences have been thus far in my journey, but like that, you'll always be discovering shit about yourself if you just don't just be like, no, I'm not. Like, that's it. John Wayne Gacy would never probably have existed the way that we know him now had his dad not shamed him for being effeminate.
Yeah.
If he wasn't a closeted homosexual who hated himself, it may have been a different story. Who knows? But like, it definitely does nobody any favors to be
Yeah.
self-hating and self-loathing and confused and upset and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, that's another layer that has caused a lot of problems for people, you know. And plus, the idea that anybody is owed anything from anybody else
Yeah.
creates a huge problem. Realizing that you're the problem most of the time helps get over those problems. But if you're a self-entitled, socially unaware, probably mentally disabled guy who doesn't understand any social cues, doesn't understand that washing your nuts is a good idea, like, maybe there's some other shit that's in the way than just like, these women just deny me what I deserve. It's like, nah, maybe you just need to invest in yourself. Care about
Maybe you have
yourself.
literally no personality, no self-care,
You
no
have nothing to
job,
offer. It's like,
no
if you go to the
hobbies.
store, and you see other people buying like expensive products and you're just like, give me that. They're going to be like, no. You got to give us money for that. You got to do something to get that. You can't just I deserve that. It's like, and then those same people will be on conservative message boards like, nobody wants to work for anything. All these people are worthless. It's like, dude, you're literally not even willing to fucking go and like try to buy a new outfit to look good when you go out to try and find a woman. But like, it's really weird, man. That whole movement, like, since there's been some true crime stories about it and stuff, I've looked into that problem, legitimate problem, and I've just been perplexed by the lack of accountability for people in that community to look at themselves and they see no room for improvement. Like, they're perfect and everybody else is the issue. Like, come on, man. There's nothing more attractive than like not being braggadocious or anything, but respecting yourself and trying to improve yourself. People see that and it's attractive. Like, there's more to it than having nuts and like expecting for them to be drained for whatever reason.
I'm perfect. Sex, please. That's not how this works.
Oh well, years ago, Nino might know this. Moist Critical was playing a game called Sexy Serial Killer, and the beginning of it
Oh,
showed a
God.
guy who was like talking about not having a date for 3 years. It's like 3 years, not one date, not one kiss, not one embrace. Well, maybe stop showing your teeth like you're a dog ready to attack. You might have a bit of better luck out there.
Yeah.
I mean, really, dude. It's so crazy. I don't understand incels. Have some self-respect, Fred the Squid said. Uh,
Sure.
that's the point, Fred, the Alpha Squid. They don't have enough respect for themselves to have it reflected on others. That's
Yeah.
true. And I think that there's a lot to that. And here's the thing, dude. I would like the ability to help these people. You know, I would like to be able to speak to these people and be like, listen, man,
Yeah.
you know, there is hope. You don't have to sit here in misery asking what. It's the fixation on the end result that they're looking for
Exactly.
that is keeping them from doing the steps that are way back behind that to get to where they want to be. And I'm not a fan of like this whole, pickup artist shit or this Andrew Tate shit or all this. It's
This
like,
male guru.
The one
I'm
guy
gonna
who
make
was
you
like,
millions. You're gonna escape the matrix and you're gonna get bitches. If you don't,
Yeah.
you're a failure. It's like, that's not gonna help. It's
the
not
name of the one
helping.
guy.
no.
What's the name of the one guy who was in Japan or something? He was like trying to teach people how to speak a Japanese woman. It's like, just go like, just put their heads to your crotch and go like, Pikachu, Pikachu, just like there. The other guys are doing it too. I'm like, they're not all doing it too.
No, they're not. I mean, it's just that's so dumb. I don't even know where to begin with that. But like the idea behind the whole situation is actually pretty simple. You bring your best self to the table authentically,
Yeah.
and that is going to attract people who are attracted to that. And you don't have to defer back to, oh shit, whenever she finds out that I'm actually like this, or whenever she finds out this, and worrying. Like, even if you use the tools that the like pickup artists or like these male gurus teach you, they don't teach you to be you.
Yeah.
They teach you to be something that's supposed to fire off these reactions from women. And so it's like, then what? It's like one time I was a kid and I caught a copperhead snake. And they're so poisonous and they're huge too. They're like the size of my arm. They're like thick and like huge heads and are so venomous and so strong.
Damn.
I caught it, and then what?
Yeah.
Like, I was in a bad situation then. So you use all these tricks and you're fake and you use like canned material like pickup lines and magic tricks or whatever. And then when you run out of gimmicks, you have to be you.
Exactly.
And they may end up just being like, fuck you, I'm not. You got to go into situations where you are honest, confident, proud to be who you are. So that's the kind of thing that you got to work on. Like, it took me forever, dude. I got out of a bad relationship. I hated myself. I ended up, with a girlfriend who was really nice and was really cool to me and everything. And the moment that she said she started having legitimate feelings for me, I was like, bye. You got to go find somebody else, because I'm going to fuck you up. I'm fucked up. I don't like myself. You need to, And so even in that situation, if you don't have your shit together, you're just not going to be there. You can't even do what you want to do. Luckily, I then ran into Nikki, and Nikki was like, I'm taking you. You don't got a choice. And it's one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me. So,
Well, Bubo saying
self-investment,
here,
Yeah, exactly.
What Bubo says here, there's a recent incel friend of mine that's also a YouTuber who's going over. The guy talks about how society is to blame. He mentioned he turned down someone just because she was slightly chubby.
Haha, see, there you go.
Right, yeah. Incel,
want
but turning people down who are interested
yeah,
in them. That's not involuntary, guy.
that's voluntary.
Yeah.
You're just cucking yourself.
And not only that, I bet you he's not in pristine shape.
Oh yeah,
You
no,
know, you
that's
know.
always the thing.
How are
Like
you going to judge a woman's physical attributes again when you bring nothing to the table? When you're not good looking, when you're not the
Yeah.
one, that's so jacked up, man.
it's always
My
these
motto for
skinny
life,
little
you don't.
cave trolls that
Yeah,
want a
see,
fucking 10 out of 10 Vogue model. It's like, motherfucker, that's
yeah,
out of your league. Get
yeah.
a girlfriend. Get something that breathes, please.
My
Just
motto for life, you don't like them thick, you're getting the kick.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, that's personal. Everybody, I think it's okay for people to be like, "This is what I'm interested in.
oh
This is
yeah,
what I'm attracted to."
absolutely.
That's fine. But
Hmm.
it's kind of shit to be like, "Oh, you're legitimately interested in me. I'm just not going to give you the time of day." As a single person, I think that you should at least try whatever,
Yeah.
just to know. And if you don't have
Talk
that
to them.
chemistry, then you can just be
Yeah.
kind about that. You're a wonderful person. I've had a great time. I don't really feel a romantic connection with you, but like, you definitely will find that because you're a great person. I enjoyed this.
Exactly. You can
That,
always just hang out and talk to each other and see whether or not.
Yeah,
If
but then
not,
yeah.
people
then
see that
fuck
as
it.
friend zoning.
And well, but
Yeah, but that's some
who
other
cares,
bullshit.
dude? That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
I'm not saying
fine.
I believe in that, but I'm just saying people just like to throw that shit around like, oh, you got friend zone, man. Like,
No, well,
it's
people
just,
throw around everything. People are pretty dumb when it comes to
Yeah, it's
that.
like, oh, got rejected again. I'm in the friend zone. It's like, no, it's
And
just
that's not
not
what the
happening.
friend zone is. That's not what the
Yeah,
damn I got put in the friend zone is. What damn I
yeah,
got put in the friend zone is when you're like seeing somebody. There's obviously a romantic thing going on. You've gone on dates. You hang out.
mhm,
You've been texting each other or whatever. And then they're
yeah,
like, hey, I don't think we need to do this anymore. That's friend zone. Or
exactly.
I think of you more as a friend after leading you on for a while.
Hmm.
That's when you get put in the friend zone. If you don't have any zone and you're just meeting somebody,
yep.
there's no
Friend stay.
zonage. You just become
Yeah,
friends.
exactly.
Or you just don't see each other anymore because that's not the point of what you were doing. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fred says I'm a bit on the husky side and I don't expect Vogue models. I'll take anything I can get.
yeah, I definitely
yeah,
wouldn't say take anything you can get.
yeah,
I would say be happy. Find
yeah.
out what that means. Find out who that's with. If it's with anybody. Like, there's some people I know who are not involuntarily celibate, but they're voluntarily single,
Yeah.
so that they can just keep going through their life and seeing what works for them. But giving up and resorting to anger is the just dumbest shit, man. Like,
Mm.
shaking your fist at the clouds ain't gonna get anything done. And then if you're a dumbass and you go out and act on your anger, then it's never gonna be good for anybody, including yourself.
I
I'm
I know
angry,
that
so
feeling
I'm
all too well.
mistreating
I
women. That'll
fucking
help.
yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be that way in school, man. Like mostly because of my autism, and I didn't really know how to control my emotions back then.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, I had help along the way in my school years to help with that, but I was horrible in school with that shit, man. Just always acting on my anger and just like I had a short fuse back then. It's just fucking any little thing would fucking set me off.
I feel
It was
that.
terrible.
As a bipolar person, I feel that. Or a person with bipolar disorder, right, Nikki? Is that how I say it?
Some people are actually starting to take
Uh,
it up as
going for the politically
Uh,
correct way.
yeah, she always keeps me in the loop with how TikTok people are talking.
Oh,
Um,
That's just because I was a psych major.
oh, because she said, actually, that's because I was a psych major. Yeah,
next she's gonna tell you to spill the tea, sis.
yeah.
Dude,
The autism
I will
thing,
never get a
though.
TikTok for as long as I live. I will never involve myself with TikTok at all.
Yeah,
I'll
I
see
could
compilations on YouTube, but that's as far as I'll go.
I could imagine that the autism thing and not understanding that about yourself would
Yeah.
probably be pretty difficult. Was there like a time ever where you were like found out that autism is what you were dealing with and you were like, "Oh shit, that totally makes sense."
Well, I was diagnosed with Asperger's at like a very young age, like 5 years old, but I didn't
Uh,
fully understand it until I was about like probably in middle school.
Yeah.
maybe a little before that there, and I just know I was put in like a special class for something because I was having some sort of issues, and
Right.
then as the years went on, it sort of became clearer like why I was in there, like what exactly I was dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
and given like certain things of how I could better manage my shit. Such.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't get diagnosed with my shit until I was in my 20s. So I just walked around an emotional wreck, feeling shit way too strong and not knowing why I would get so angry or so infatuated or so sad,
Hmm.
or it's always like an extreme situation.
Hmm.
But yeah, middle school is the absolute worst time for me though. Like
Mm.
elementary school was a little better than that. It was still terrible, but it was better than middle school. Middle school is the absolute worst time for me because it was just like adjusting to a new system, and kids were more of assholes than they previously were, and just like
Mm-hmm.
once high school rolled around, it sort of mellowed out a little bit more. I just stopped caring about shit. Like I sort of got used to how the system worked. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, fuck you guys. I'm just gonna do my own thing here. And it's like
Right.
taking myself away out of the situations and realizing that, you know, getting pissed off at these people is just like wasting energy. I'm just like, I don't need to fucking deal with this. I'm just gonna go off and do my own thing.
Yeah.
Bubo says he was diagnosed at 11.
Mm.
I got diagnosed pretty damn early, but I just didn't know what autism was. I remember being in school. I don't exactly remember what grade, how it translates, but
Yeah.
I think it was like 10, 11, 12 around there.
Yeah.
And I remember autism being brought up in class, and I vividly remember saying, "What the fuck is autism?" Not knowing that I had it.
Mm.
You
I
didn't
was
say
like,
fuck in class, did you?
"Oh, absolutely I did. I was a badass kid."
Oh,
Yeah.
all that.
Well, they thought
Yeah.
that I just had ADD. You know,
Hmm.
they're like, "Oh, you have ADD and you're an asshole." And it turns out I have like bipolar disorder,
Hmm.
OCD, ADD. Like I have like three or four things, that are pretty debilitating, especially when you're younger. But I mean, even my OCD will kick off as an adult, and I'll just be fucking debilitated for who knows. I mean, I've had it bad for months at a time. So I mean, it's just
Hmm.
you never know. Then my bipolar will kick off. Sometimes I'll get mad as a motherfucker about shit that I should not be so heated about. I'll be
Hmm.
very passionate about shit. But like,
Yeah.
Well,
it
I've been of
definitely
the
makes
mind
that
that
situation harder. It makes the relationship thing harder,
yeah,
to be dealing with any of
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
I've developed my own little philosophy that that everybody in the world is autistic. It's just that most people don't realize it.
Well,
Because think
I
of how
I
many little
think
quirks there are that go on that people do there that many other people probably wouldn't. Like certain things that one person does that another person wouldn't. And
yeah,
autism is a spectrum, so it can work on a different scale of things.
I think that there's a lot of people who just don't want to accept that the individuality of all of us makes us so different that it can seem
Hmm.
like there's something going on there. I don't really think that it's appropriate to tack on some kind of name or disability to someone's personality until it becomes a deficit to them. Like I think it's
Yeah.
important to diagnose people with things whenever they need an answer to why shit is really fucking difficult
Hmm.
for them that doesn't seem to be difficult for other people.
Yeah.
Worrying about shit too much or this or that, like OCD does. Or it's when it hijacks your life, that you got to be like, what is this?
Yeah.
How can
Exactly.
we work with this? Where can we get? So it very, very well may be true that there's similar things going on with everybody that are causing us to all be different. But it's when that difference and then that specific thing is causing someone to be debilitated that it becomes like, all right, a diagnosis is here, right? This is a problem. We got to do something about this.
Hmm.
I wouldn't say, because there's things about autistic people as individuals, that are different from other autistic people, right? So you can't say, "Oh, that's autism." Maybe that's just their personal trait. Like you can have two people who have autism who be completely different and their own individuals, and the uniqueness between them can have nothing to do with autism. You know, but it's a
Yeah.
weird thing. Like psychology in general is super weird to understand, given the complexities of people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's just my own little thing that I was thinking of. Just
But I get what you're saying. I'm not saying you're wrong. I think that there's some truth to that just in the people that I know. Everyone seems to have their own quirk that doesn't like fit to what people are supposed to be like if they're normal. Like all of my friends pretty much are very, not to say it in a bad way, but weird. Like
Yeah.
it's good that they're weird to me, but like you could find somebody that's going to say that, oh, I could see them having autism. Like you're going to find somebody because they're different. So it's a weird thing for me. I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to get to understand because I've, have a lot of friends who have autism, and it's become a thing that's getting a lot more eyeballs on it, and people are trying to understand it more. So now that information is becoming available, I really want to understand it more, so I can respect them and kind of get what's going on. Like my nephew, he has autism, so I want to understand that.
Yeah, exactly.
Bluebo's saying that he has mood disorder, OCD, and Asperger's, and Fred says he has autism, dissociative seizures, and intermittent explosive disorder.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what intermittent explosive disorder is. I'm assuming that's like a hacker thing.
Intermittent explosive disorder is one of those situations where somebody will seem to be able to go along with a bunch of problems, like a lot of things that are bothering them, until it can't, and then it's like just in the cases that I've read of people who have done things that have had this, it's kind of like when it goes off in a non-discriminate way.
Yeah.
It's like there, and then when it goes off, it's like whoever, whatever.
Fred says it sounds like a bowel thing.
Yeah. No, it's not a bowel thing. There's some pretty interesting stuff I've actually read about that here recently. It could mimic a lot of shit that goes on with bipolar disorder, which is kind of how I found out about it, because of I can go off like that over whatever, but that situation just seems like it kind of builds, and you just never know. It could be from like 12 to fucking 50, and then you get the killdozer guy, but obviously to have been diagnosed with it, it's probably been recognized earlier and things like that. But like, yeah, that's a real one. That's a difficult one that has a lot of similarities to bipolar disorder. So it seems like we all have a lot of stuff in common, actually, with a lot of things that we deal with.
Yeah, I think when you get down to it, we have a lot of stuff in common, and but the issue with trying to get to know more about it, like you said, like you're trying to understand more about autism and stuff like that, it's so hard to accurately explain what's going on inside someone's head at points like that. I had a proper freak out a little while ago over some changed plans, which really wasn't that big of a deal, but I snapped for some reason, and I could not tell you why that happened. And that's the difficult part of trying to understand this. If I can't explain to you why that happened, how the fuck are you able to understand? It's hard.
Yeah. The reflective why is so it's scary. It's scary. When you go through something, you're aware of it, you already know, you've been working on it, and then your shit just happens. It's like, this shit can hijack my life like that. Like, really?
Exactly.
You know, like really, this shit can just hijack my fucking life like that.
I was legit just like, motherfucker, I'm 26 and I freaked out over that. Come
Yeah,
on, get
yeah,
your shit together.
it's really disheartening, but it's like, you know,
Hmm.
we just gotta keep trying to enjoy what we've got left, man, because life is so damn short, man. And
Yeah.
honestly, those things that come up, and they're these huge disabilities,
Hmm.
it robs us of that time, and to dwell on that kind of shit when it happens is just robbing you of more time.
Hmm.
You know, that's the
Yeah.
way I look at my shit. Whenever I'm getting too mad, whenever I have a OCD moment, whenever I'm
Like your gamer rage
drifting.
on Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, dude, no, that was bad, man. That was
Hmm.
bad.
See, you
Cause
shouldn't be doing the Wii version, man. I thought it was a bad idea that you were going to do the Wii version because it's like, I don't know a single person that likes that version.
I mean,
I figured
hey,
people would prefer like the
I
console.
thought it was a good idea. Point and click instead of having to move
Yeah.
Well,
like
yeah, but
controller
the way the
camera.
Wii works, it's like
right,
That's
the
true.
thing that
if it
was
was a Switch or something with updated controls, I would understand. But like
the
the
thing
Wii,
that was bothering me about it that time was the fact that like you have to shake the Wiimote side to side to dodge the enemy attacks, but you
Yeah.
have to hold the trigger down and press A to shoot, and you're aiming with the Wiimote at the same time. So
plus you have to keep on the sensor.
it will prompt me to shake the Wiimote side to side to dodge an attack while I'm shooting. But if I do that,
Ah.
if I'm holding the trigger and I shake the Wiimote, it does the knifing action.
Ah, yeah.
It's just a whole combination of controls that don't make sense to go together in that boss fight. So it was like I was doing the right thing, but dying over and over again anyway. And I was just like, dude. So I had to look up how to quickly kill that guy. Rocket launcher. It
Nice.
works.
Also welcome Sarah to the stream. She asked, "Am I too late or did I miss a lot?"
Well, we are
Been-
coming towards the end.
Yeah, we've been going for like 70 minutes.
Yeah.
Just as long as you don't pull an AVGN moment, Chad, and go all crazy like he did when he played Friday the 13th.
Dude, I was about to quit the game right there, and I'm pissed. Like, there's so much. It seems like there's a couple more bosses that I got to get through.
Yeah, your PC crashed on you too, didn't it?
My computer crashed at the end of the stream. I was like, Jesus Christ, good. I'm gonna
Oh
go
my
crash.
God.
And yeah, you were close to beating the game. You were on like Krauser's section, and then you're just like, "Did my Wii just crash?" And then the
It
stream
did.
just ended.
How much farther do I have left in it?
What are you on, like 5-3 right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 5-4, and then you have 6-1, which is the final fight with Sadler.
So it's
So
just
you got
one
about, like-
fight.
Yeah, 2 more chapters left to go on after Krauser.
Okay. So that one will be put to rest. And then, like you said, Devil Summoners coming out, or Soul Hackers coming
Soul
out.
Hackers too. Yeah. In
May
2
jump on
days.
that. I'm trying to figure out what to jump into next. I mean, I know there's a bunch of shit coming out.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned earlier the Pac-Man World remake's gonna be coming out in 2 days.
Yeah, that'll be crazy. I know that it won't be long before the Hogwarts Legacy comes out. I'm definitely interested in playing that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm interested in checking
That'll
that
be
out.
fucking dope.
Mhm.
And then some of the Dead by Daylight clones that you're so pumped about. The Dragon Ball Z one intrigues me. Okay,
I mean,
Just running around as
It's-
Goku,
it's-
killing people trying to get generators. Like,
no. I think you run around
I'll
as like
reserve my
normal
judgment.
people. I think you run around as like normal people in that world, and then like Cell and Frieza and like these major villains are chasing you, which would be horrifying. It would be horrifying to be like an average person when the androids showed up.
I mean, aren't they now also doing a fucking Killer Clowns from Outer Space Dead by Daylight? Basically-
they brought that up in the Discord earlier today.
Yeah, no, I was watching Gamescom and I saw fucking Killer Clowns from Outer Space of all things,
Of all
among
things.
amongst some other bullshit, including like a mini car with some Pokemon bullshit.
Mhm.
But it looked like another one of those Dead by Daylight games, and I was like, mother.
And Sonic Frontiers is coming out in November.
Yep.
Everybody's excited for that one.
Nanopolis banged his fist and knocked his fucking mic off.
Oh dear. Can you say anything?
He
Yeah,
went,
no, we can't hear you.
Mute.
I broke my mic.
That was funny.
I broke my mic.
Oh.
Cut the cord.
Well, I'm gonna have to.
The internet heard
I'm
me
gonna have
complain,
to hop
so they
off
were
here,
like,
homies.
no worries.
And seeing as how I am the master of the stream today, I'm taking you, mother Zao, with me.
Damn it! No!
Damn it! But a good podcast today. Glad I got to hang out with you guys and chat it up.
Mm-hmm.
Glad everybody showed up that did. Hopefully you will subscribe so you'll know when we're going live, and you can even know by marking it down on your calendars that it will be on Wednesday.
Mhm.
It will be at 10:30, and yeah, that's as simple as it gets.
Tell your
Same
friends.
day and time
Arm
as
yourselves
always.
with knowledge.
Dude, big news. Nikki and I finished 2 Towers last night, the extended cut. She got to see the Battle of Helm's Deep.
Nice.
Pretty fucking epic.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, got some good shit done yesterday. Gonna be recording some more today, doing some work. So wish us luck on that end. What are you guys getting into?
I am doing some music stuff. I'm going to be
Sick.
recording some voice lines after that, and then after that, jack off, play video games.
Hell yeah. Thomas?
Well, I'm possibly going to try and finish Half-Life 2 today because I was looking it up earlier, and apparently the game's only 5 hours long, and it's taken me 6.5 to finish it.
Ah,
So I apparently only have 2 hours left in that game. I'm in like an area where you're controlling antlions around, which is what Ariel was talking about a couple streams ago for you when she said that I had like a posse going. Apparently there's a part in Half-Life 2, I don't know if you've played the game before, where you're like controlling antlions with this like pheromone gland to like lead them to attack like the soldiers and whatnot. And it was like, oh, boys, attack my pets. Just send them afterwards.
wow.
So yeah, that's what Ariel was talking trash to you about.
Well, I hope you enjoy that. I hope everybody has a good day. And I guess I will see you in the next one, guys. Anything else?
Don't eat the drywall.
Don't.
Don't be a squirrel.
Don't be a squirrel. Don't eat the drywall.